So in this part here, we're going to focus on the rear wing to try and understand what that will look like in the plan view. So we need some guidelines to project those features. Don't forget the length is already determined. So we can, using my guideline layer, I'm going to find that feature. This is the front end of the wing, and project some guidelines straight up. There's also going to be a bit of a feature right here. I'll project that line straight up. As I move towards the back of the spine, there's an edge here. And project that up. And lastly, I have one more edge that will be seen. So now that I've got these, I've got this front line here, this is a line, I've got 4 lines that determine the length of our object. I can be creative here. This is an object that I am thinking of creating. So it's up to me now as to how wide I plan to create this. Also depends on the shape that I would like. Okay? So in this case here, if I'm planning to produce something, if I'm trying to plan to produce a shape that's as simple as a rectangular piece, something like this, then all I've got are straight edges on here that need to be considered. However, if I am considering to make a shape that was a little bit more arrow, looking like this, so now it's kind of a more pointy shape. I would need to try and consider how that's going to look from the plan view. We've got lots of options. You might end up having all sorts of different shapes, and this is where those pieces of card come into play. If you've got more complex shapes that you're trying to plan and trying to understand where the bends might occur, so we've got a bend coming in on this feature right here, but you might have bends folding down at the side. This is your opportunity to be creative. However, when you're being creative, we still need to show this as a realistic object. I'll go down the avenue of our more rectangular shape like this. So I'm going to determine how big this might be. So I'm thinking that I'm going to go something quite large that cuts halfway through the wheels over here. So let's, I'm just going to hide this. And let's go back onto our wing plan. We'll take our get the right color for us. This is the red color that we'll be using. So now it's a case of me determining the size. So I'll turn my ruler. We've got this at 0 degrees. I think I'm going to end up measuring, we'll find out the actual measurements. Yeah. So I'm measuring from the center line. So we're going to go 35 millimeters is where I'm running to. And I'm determining, there's the front edge. So this is the front edge of the wing. This is the rear edge of the wing. So I'll draw in my line right here. Up at the top, we measure the same. Just double check this. So the front edge, back edge, simple as that. I also have a couple of other features. Because this is the rear wing, the spine overlaps because we've got this halving joint in this space here. So that's determined by, we already we've drawn the spine up this far. And on the other side, we've got some vertical lines to draw in now. There's the front edge of my wing. This is the bend or the crease of the wing. And this is the top edge right here. That we would see just because we're looking straight down on top of our object. Now we've essentially just drawn in the key features. We've got the purple nose cone that's hiding half of the spine. If we come towards the back end, we talked a little about this and the fact that I kind of went a little lighter in this area. I knew that the wing was going to be in that area. I can go back to my spine. I can also go back to the color for the spine. If I take my ruler, turn that back around, and underneath this area here, well, I can start drawing in. I've got green that I would see just up at the back there. I've got room for a couple of bits of hidden detail that would run underneath. There we go. So, side view, plan view, and all of the dimensions will be matching, okay? Because it's the same object, just seen from two different views.